Approaches and has a hit. Jack McGlynn! That is an absolute banger to draw this game level.
What is up? We're here. Only a 2-game slate, but that doesn't stop us. MLS is back. We have 2 games left for these teams that are playing. Toronto's done. And the rest of the teams have 1 game on decision day. So we're taking a look at this game week. So if you have any questions about this game week, with international duty, it gets a little funky, that's for sure. But we do have some things that should be able to get through without having any, rotation issues. With these teams having a full week off, that kind of helps a little bit. And the lack of options that they can play just based on some different things is huge as well. So I'm going to break down both matchups, my predicted lineups, who I think is going to be in the starting lineup, and we'll talk a little international play as well. So as you're coming in here, say what's up. And if you have any questions, specific questions, hit me with them. You know what? I think since it's a short slate, why not show the lineups? And then, we can kind of grind through them. Ronan, what's happening? Let's go. Evening to you. So, let's see. I'll pull up both Server Inside and Predictify just because Rev Server, AJ Allen, is the New England team expert on Server Inside. So you have his lineup you can have over there, and then I'll show mine. It's a little bit different, but just based on what I just looked at. So you need Brazil to do nothing for 30 quid on the international midweek. Man, I would take that in over anything. I'm sitting like a tier 4 and under 23 out of nowhere, which is crazy. I wasn't expecting anything. Red or Dead, what's up? Let's go. How we doing? So yeah, we got Predictify as well as Server Inside. So since it's a short slate, I'll give you a little test peek behind the curtains, if you will. We'll start on Server Inside just because there's two matches. Not a big deal. Lewis, what's happening? How are you doing? A new improvement here. You got 72% versus 14% win percentages. That's pretty cool. To add into this, it gives you a little bit of extra kind of just quality of life, which I'm pretty excited about. Have Columbus and LAFC to go this week. Hopefully you have the guys that are hopefully in the squad. So we'll start with Columbus and New England. Duncan, hey, I saw your Twitter post. Got it running. Man, it's thanks for popping in. I'm glad you're safe. I know that was terrible in Florida, man. Glad you're safe and got the generator going. That's brutal. Yeah. So all Florida and friends, a lot of people from Florida that are into So Rare. So all you guys, hopefully you guys are all safe and that nightmare's over, man. Jeez. But good. Thanks for coming in here. That's awesome. I can't believe you're even in here. I wasn't expecting that. So shout out to you, Taco Slayer, Gator Guy. I mean, there's a lot of Florida fans, Florida people here. So hopefully everybody's holding up for that. Let's start with the crew. So again, this is on server inside. I'll bounce back and forth. Basically, I just gave who's on international duty, any comments, and with the shorter slate, I was able to go in more in depth, and just kind of went this way. Does the 72% in Columbus factor in the Romero sent off? Yeah. I know, right? That 4-0 against Seattle last time was brutal. That's for sure. So, hiding the goalie right now. So I'm 75%. I could be a little bit higher. Evan Bush is practicing. Nancy didn't confirm if he'd be available. He just said we will see. He's kind of like the veteran kind of leader. He's been around in the MLS forever, it seems like. Romero did get sent off. That's why I went 75%. As a Bush, I have him as a collection booster. Yeah, I'm not playing him. But yeah, Romero should start. That red card, though, kind of factors in there with the situation. On the back line, Rudy Camacho was suspended last match, so he should be back in the business. The only thing is Columbus has nothing to play for, which could be a little bit iffy, but they're going to want to keep players in form. And, that could just limit it. Maybe we see Rossi for 45 to 60 minutes instead of like the full 90, or he could play the full 90. So it's pretty tough to kind of decide there. But yeah, as Duncan says, Carlos Hill's been shut down for the season. It's kind of a corpse kind of running out there for New England. It's not the worst lineup, but at the same time, you don't really expect much from them. So I went Amundsen, Camacho, and Moreira. Moreira missed the last match with an ankle issue, but they said he could have played through it. It's just kind of like a rest thing. He wasn't called up to international duty last time he was in the international group with, I think, Cape Verde. But I have him at 60%. I have Traburco at 60%. And then I have Amundsen and Camacho at 80%. So I'm kind of a little bit more towards them just based on what has happened recently. And then it's kind of some toss-ups. So we'll just get into international duty. Schulte, Hagen, both keepers gone again. Farsi's with Algeria. Taha Habrune is with the under-20s USA. It would be nice to see him get some run. Like, this would be a great match to see him get some run. And then Cucho's with Colombia. So none of those guys. Zawadzki is still off to the side as of yesterday at training. I don't expect to see him yet. But yeah, so moving up to the midfield, Chambos was phenomenal last match. He had 2 assists. He looked really good. I don't really see how you can not have him in the starting lineup. But again, we could see some crazy things. I have a 70% mixed with that right attacking mid position. Matan could play there. He has before as like the Sean Zawadzki kind of more attacking role than Zawadzki's usually in. I have Herrera as the starter. It seems like this would be back to one of his starts. I do have Arston at 85%. It's mixed on the left and right side. Zawadzki, I gave him 20%. It's probably lower than that, just based on now, just with the training news. Should see Nagby, but yeah, maybe we see Derek Jones. And on the left side, maybe we see DeJuan Jones, or maybe Yeboah gets a very rare start there. Moving up, Russell Rowe was left out of the Canadian side, so there's a good chance he should start. I have an 80%. I would kind of be shocked if he didn't start in this situation. But again, crazier things have happened. Same with Ramirez. I would think he starts, and then Diego Rossi should start. But, maybe AZ Jackson gets another look. But AZ Jackson was terrible last match. He came off the bench. He was on the field for 8 minutes, made an error leading to goal, and he got subbed out. So he came on and left in a hurry. So I really doubt he's in starting consideration when Nanti kind of isn't the biggest fan at the moment. So that's what I went with there. Some of these percents you don't love to see as just kind of like toss-ups. But at the end of the day, whenever you're missing those 5 guys, 2 keepers, it kind of closes down the options. I did mention here, just you can't see behind my head, but I'll read it off to you. So I would love to see him rotate even further, possibly. Maybe just off the bench. But like Chase Adams is 16. He plays for the Crew too, and he has 9 goals and 19 starts to lead the team. So that's kind of exciting. I would love to see him get some first team looks just to see if he's for real. I mean, if you're 16 scoring, why not? I don't understand why he subbed him in for the shootout either. Yeah. The St. Louis Crew also don't like him. He's like all energy, but then it's just like, I don't know. He looks good in spurts. Like at the beginning, he looked good, but then he always just seems to kind of regress as he gets more involved. That penalty shootout did not make sense whenever he subbed there. So that's them. We'll go over to Predictify for New England. So New England, we'll go down to the notes, I guess, first, and then we'll pop back up. So Peyton Miller, USA under 20s as well. Arriaga, Ecuador. Al-Hassan Youssef, Nigeria. Baratarevic, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Will Sands is still questionable with a foot injury, and Carlos Hill's out for the season, 2 games. It's an injury that'll be like 3 to 4 weeks. The kind of, question mark is, okay, they're eliminated. They have nothing to play for. What are they going to kind of look like here? So, I don't think they rotate in goal. I think it's going to be Ivičić for the rest of the year. On the left side, Nick Lima, I'm at 70% on him. Just Spalding could definitely get a look, though. Just kind of a Eileen Lima, just because he's been there all season. With Miller gone, Romney and Parker should be pretty safe. Parker's mixed up with the left side and right side. He's at those percents together. Maybe we see a Mensa, a rare start. Maybe you see Farrell. You don't think, but they got to be in consideration to maybe play a role whenever it doesn't matter. Brandon Bai should start on the right side, but yeah, like I said, Farrell. Polster seems pretty safe. Maybe McNamara, he hasn't been on the bench forever. Maybe he steps in. And then there's some toss-ups here. So I feel good about Barrero and Langoni, but the 70% is just to kind of incorporate, okay, there could be some weird rotations, but they should start. Same with Vrioni. And then Harks as well. Maybe I'm a little bit too high on Harks, but I have him at 80%. Boateng at 50%, just because he started a decent amount. I don't love him, but he's played all right. And then you kind of have K and Nacho Hill as well. So I think it comes down to Harks, K, and Nacho Hill. Nacho Hill could play the cam position that his brother plays. But I think that's kind of where you're at. I think K is the most likely not to be in there because Nacho Hill could play that left center mid and in kind of a more number 8 role. And Polster kind of slides to 6. But yeah, I don't have a great feeling. It's good that we know that Carlos Hill is going to be out. I kind of had him at 60% in my initial prediction. Didn't really know. I just knew he had a hamstring knock. So I do have a Dylan Barrero. I think I'll probably find a way to play him, even though it's not a great matchup, and just kind of hope that Columbus has that same stumble. But again, I'm kind of throwing out there just I have him to be able to play. And this Mark Anthony K, I don't know why he's highlighted. I definitely don't know Mark Anthony K card. Maybe at some point I owned his limited or something. I don't know. But that's over on Predictify. So back to Server Inside, and we'll get into a interesting matchup because both teams have something to play for, as opposed to the other match they don't have. Neither team has anything to play for because Columbus is already in the number 2 seed as well. So Vancouver is trying to avoid the wild card match. Actually, let's pull up playoff status just real quick to talk about that. So they are currently in the wild card against Portland. But as we can see here, they're already locked in. It's just a matter of, okay, can they get out of that spot? Right now, 73% chance to be in that wild card spot, 60% chance to be the host for that, which could be big. And again, they can jump all the way up to 5th, 4% chance. But, if they go win-win and some results go their way, that 47, okay, they win this match because it's their match in hand. They're already at 50. That's huge, obviously. And, they could even jump the Dynamo with some good form. So they're going to be really looking forward to it. And then The other team involved is LAFC, and they still have a chance. It's a slight chance, but they still have a chance, and there's a chance that they drop. So they need to get points. If they win this match, it takes away the chance of going anywhere worse than second. And they need to win out and I believe erase a 3-goal differential, which if they win both their matches and Galaxy loses, you would think, unless it's both 1-goal matches, you would think they would be able to make that up. So that's kind of where that comes into play. So both teams will want it, but the problem is who is actually here. So we'll start with Vancouver. Full transparency, Vancouver is very tough to predict. They rotate a ton. Players play a lot of different positions, which makes it really tough as well. They rotate center backs. It's kind of a nightmare. So you have Adekugbe, Ahmed, both with Canada, Kubas with Paraguay, Vite with Ecuador, Ryan Gauld with Scotland, again, you love to see it, and Fafa Picault with Haiti. The injuries don't really matter in terms of the starting lineup. And then I kind of went on to say about the order of the rotation. Laborda seems like he would be if you kind of look, you follow it. I can kind of show you what I mean by that. It's it's a little bit difficult to follow what Vancouver does just because they're so sporadic. But if we take a look at the center backs here, so here, you look here, Utvik, Laborda, and then it's back to Utvik, and then it's Blackman. So it could be Utvik again in the every other, or Laborda in terms of like the player that would be up next. But again, it's very hard to put that together, and it's at the end of the day a little bit of a guessing game. So that's why I'm pretty low, just percent wise spread out. Veselinovic is their key player on the back line. He's pretty nailed, but again, weirder things will have happened as we kind of progress up the field in this 3-4-3. The left wing back Ryan Raposo, he could play on the right side as well. He could play left wing even. Ocampo started one match, but he hasn't been really factoring in too much. Then on the other side, Berhalter can play centrally. He can play on the wing, but I do have him on the wing just based on options. He's kind of the guy that makes sense there. Schoaf as well, with the lack of options, he makes a lot of sense as well. Ralph Prizo, the last international break where they didn't have everybody, he started in the midfield as well. So that kind of makes sense. Stuart Armstrong started the last match at right wing. I think that could happen again. Levante Johnson makes sense. And then Brian White. I think Brian White's the safest out of the bunch. He should start. Out of the players that are playing this weekend, he's probably one of the safest out of any of them at 90%. And as you can see here, I have Berhalter and Schoaf, but Brian White is probably the safest option. Levante Johnson could be Caicedo. Again, like I said, Raposo could bump up there if Ocampo starts. And then Kryluk, he just isn't very good and he shouldn't start, but you never know. So that's kind of where we're at with them. And then LAFC, again, international break. It's very bizarre. We have Bouanga, Campos, Chanot, David Martinez, who has been really good lately. Good young talent. And Christian Oliveira, surprisingly got another Uruguay call up. Some Uruguay fans don't like him. You should look up his Twitter posts. There's some funny people really don't like him. Murillo is supposed to be back before playoffs or by playoffs, so I don't really think they're going to just throw him in here. But yeah. 39 need 39 for $30. I think it's 20 otherwise. We move for internationals. Yeah. Hey, a little bit of something, at least a little bit of something. So Laurie should be, again, these are all should be safe in there. They still have something to play for. Hollingshead and Palencia should be good. Luca Bombito shouldn't start. It's just, there's a chance for him. Segura over Marlon. Marlon hasn't started yet. Segura probably back in the starting lineup. He's not great, but he is what he is. Aaron Long should be back in, coming back from injury. He felt good, went full 90. And then Illy Sanchez. Atuesta is kind of the odd man out. He's kind of been in the lineup, out of the lineup, a kind of weird situation, not in the best form. And Lewis O'Brien is in pretty good form. So I have Lewis O'Brien. I have Tillman playing the attacking mid 10 role and Bogusz in that midfield as well. 70% here, 90% total, just in case Giroud doesn't start for some reason. But I'm 80% on Giroud and 70% on Kai Kamara, with Ordaz being the sub. 30% there, 10% there, 40% total. Duenas could be a sub as well, but that is kind of the best available in that formation. They usually play either a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3. The 4-1-3-2 is basically what they played last international break, because just with the personnel, it makes sense. That's kind of what they do here. This can actually turn into a diamond as well. If Bogusz can slide up and down the field, O'Brien probably settles down a little bit more, and Illy, at that defensive mid position. So still a strong team, and it's crazy because they're missing, a couple starters depending who you have, and then David Martinez, great form, so he'll be missed as well. So on the road, they are favorites, 42% there, 37% for Vancouver at home. 72% seems high, 14% for New England, but New England's kind of a shell of itself. So that's the MLS. Yes, they are so slow. It is just target ball, and it's pretty funny. Yeah. Any chance you're at the Philly-Cincy game coming up? I will not be there. Hockey season, so I can't really. Just depends when my game schedule is, but I will not be there. I would love to be there, but AC, good to hear from you. Maybe if they make a playoff run, I'll be able to sneak to a game, but they're not going to make the playoffs, so not going to have to worry about it. Last game of the season. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it next week, but oh, you got some of the tickets from the So Rare coins. Let's go. That's awesome. Congratulations. But man, that's, as a Philly fan, obviously I want them to make it, but they've done so many things where they should have, should have gotten more points than they had, and they've blown a lot just from winning positions. So it's tight, right? It's tight. As crazy as it is, I know I'm a Philly fan. I'm kind of rooting for DC. If Philly doesn't get in, I'm rooting for DC. I love what Benteke has been doing. I just kind of, the amount of goals he scored, getting the golden boot, hopefully he holds on for that. Just everything that's gone into it, he kind of deserves it. I know it probably doesn't matter that much to him in terms of his career, but yeah, I mean, they deserve to be in. And they have a good percent. The comeback, the last match over Nashville, just little things like that, they kind of deserve it. I kind of like what DC's doing. Do I think they can make a run? No, but they deserve to get in. Montreal's in good form as well. They've had a good run down the end. And then, even Atlanta, once they get some more signings in, they're going to be a tough team. And Philadelphia is just better than Toronto. But yeah, just, I don't know. I'm going to say DC and Montreal are able to stick on to those last two positions, and Union and Atlanta go home. So I'm going to say they at least get a point, and it doesn't even matter in terms of tiebreakers, but could be wrong. Yeah, not Revs level, but yeah, that's for sure. AC, how'd you know that you won? I put a bunch of raffles in. I guess I didn't win if I didn't get a notification. Did they send you an email or something? I haven't checked I haven't gotten an email actually. So let me know. Maybe I'll pop that open. Did I get something? Nope. Because I did all my coins. Could you? Oh, okay. So you could literally buy them. Okay. MLS tickets weren't raffle. Okay. That makes sense. Gotcha. Yeah. I didn't I didn't get into here earlier. I just did the 26 raffle, the mystery jersey. So yeah, I had 26,000, so I didn't even have the 30,000. But yeah, we're gonna play the odds. Hopefully, get some raffle jerseys. Didn't they say that they were going to give the trading team coins back? Because I did not get them back because I bought so many training teams. So I was a little bummed on that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I definitely didn't get those. Yeah. Yeah, fly them over. Get them over here. The 30K. Yeah. Yeah, worked out. Nice. Sweet. That's awesome. Yeah, so still left here. Orlando, Atlanta, Red Bull, Columbus, Chicago, Nashville. I'm surprised that's still open. Dang. Okay. That would be why. See, I had like no time today, but I didn't read any. I just saw, oh, you're getting them back. And then I didn't read carefully. So I'm like, oh, that's a ripoff. It's a shame. All right, let's jump into this game week. And let's see what we have playing. So yeah, we'll go to game week info first. So start at the limited level. And All-Star special, International Nights special. Under 23, leading the way, 17.9% D1. Just from personal speaking, I played with, I think there's more goalies. There are definitely more goalies now, but I think there's only 2 goalies or 1. I don't know. Last game week, and 4-man teams did well. I think I'm getting like a tier 3 or tier 4 from a pretty low score, so that was kind of nice. So maybe a look if you can put together an under 23 team, but not with maybe more goalies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sadly, most way from where you would have gone. I have some absolutely cured lineups. And then you got 4% on the All-Star special. It's going to be tough. Like the International Nights, I have some in-season cards, but just like these international, it just doesn't fit my gallery very well. I have some Stuttgart cards. I have some players that play, but I just can't compete. So, yeah. Full time. Let's go. Can't wait. My last game week, I got crazy amount of essence. So I was able to pull 2 tier 5s. So I had enough essence for 2 tier 5s. And I think I got 22 $10 market credits. So can't honestly be happier than that. And I think I had a tier 4 under 23 as well. I got Livermento, which he's used to be a really high talent, potential talent, but I mean, he's still fun. Yeah, I knew you'd be a goblin for him. That's for sure. If anyone's going to be all in on international game weeks, it's definitely Ronan. Love it. Ooh, only tier 5 rare so far pulled was Thomas Hasal. You hate that. And yeah, that's kind of, I kept them. So looking at that, it kind of helps my prem. So basically what I've been doing is I've been grinding the in-season like lower levels to try and hit that 50% threshold and trying to get EPL and Bundesliga cards. So that's kind of like the essence. I have a little bit of under 23 mix in there and then a little bit of Challenger at times, but with MLS ending, it's basically just Bundesliga and EPL. And I've just been riding that. That's how I got the Van Dyke. I mean, obviously lucky. Curacao and Haiti. Love it. Oh, Fafa Pico. Let's go. And what, Eloy Room? I don't know if I know any other Curacao players. That is tremendous. For the rare side, it's very similar, except there's higher in D1, 25% at under 23. Pretty solid. And then in-season rare, 11%. That's actually not bad at all. So if I can play something there, I will. Hopefully I can. It kind of just depends who starts, and I don't really know anything about international, to be fully honest, about who's going to start and who's not going to start. So I will definitely rely on the predictions to see where we're at there. All-star rare, under 5%. Kind of assume that. So let's jump into fixtures. We have some double game weeks. If I saw that correctly, which is going to make this even more difficult. Like Germany, I believe they have a double game week, right? They play like Netherlands and someone else, or am I wrong? Or is it just enough of a turnaround that it's on the weekend? You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong there. Turkey and Wales, good doubles. Okay. So Bosnia have 2. All right, yeah. So just kind of looking at this, I was not sure if they show up as having 2. I'm just trying to find one that shows up as having 2. So maybe it only shows the first fixture on here. Maybe it's like a workaround type of thing. Or maybe I'm just... No, here we go. Netherlands has 2. Yeah, so it shows both. Okay. Dutch have 2. All right, there we go. Yeah, Ireland, no good here. So at the top, Wales is there twice. Yeah, there we go. At the top, we're going to Colombia. Atlético Nacional playing in Vigado. 78% for all your Atlético Nacional players that you can play in All-Star only. Enjoy that. Turkey, as Ronan said, Turkey is up there. 76% against Montenegro. And we might as well do a little searching. We're not seeing 2. So maybe they're just not all showing up here. We'll figure it out. Either way, we'll just go through these ones and then we'll head on over to server data to see what we got. Spain plays Denmark, 73% there. Columbus Crew rotating possibly against New England up top. Wales against Montenegro. So Montenegro gets the double shaft there. You hate to see that for them. Croatia gets Scotland. The better Everton against Union La Calera. Cadiz against Malaga. Germany, Netherlands. That'll be a good matchup. I still call it Czech Republic. I can't get away from that. Czechia versus Albania. Another Sociedad, whoever against Independent Medellin. Ibar, Eldense, Bulgaria, Luxembourg, Greece with the huge win. I mean, for George Baldock, that is crazy. That it's just like you can't write it, but like at the same time, it's like you always see things like this where they just rise to the occasion. It's crazy, crazy. Team I'm not going to pronounce. Yeah, we got some a little bit of South America flair here. As we go down further, so we got Spanish Second League. There's Ukraine, Georgia, Austria, Norway, Ukraine. There's Czechia again. More. Okay. Yeah, they're a super team. That's nice. Red or Dead, you enjoyed the Irish win over Finland. Tough game against Greece next. I love looking at this because I got Luxembourg players, Ireland players, and Eldense. I'm shafted. That's great. Yeah, it's crazy. Like international game weeks are just insane. Just to look at this. So this is sorted all by home. Let's give some away love and sort by winning away percentage. See what this away looks like. So Germany, Bosnia Herzegovina, Sweden against Estonia, England against Finland, Romania, 68% favorites against Cyprus. Beautiful. Netherlands, Hungary. We talked about Netherlands there. Portugal, Poland, Slovenia, Kazakhstan, Kosovo, Lithuania, Colo-Colo, Huachipato, Northern Ireland, Belarus, Uruguay, Peru, and France, Belgium. And we'll get down further, so we're good on that. As far as the XG home, who's scoring the most? Probably the biggest favorites. The Crew up top. Love it. Love it. Trade away an old Gnabry rare for a bunch of in-season MLS. Take some shots. Nice. Kosovo players. All right. Oh, Muric. I was going to say, the only Kosovo player is Muric that I know of. So that's the great part about all this is just, the amount of ball knowledge you just kind of get from just sometimes being a degenerate, sometimes just checking out, okay, we got international. I'm going to get a Uzbekistan team for Gator Guy. Or was it black? I think black. Was it? I might not even have been. Was it Uzbekistan? I feel like it was. Yeah, I was gonna say with your all your knowledge there, you do feel like a football Wikipedia there. FPL, what's happening? Yeah, so this is this game week. That doesn't really help us, huh? North Macedonia stack. Oh, wrong captain. I had Elmas at one point in my life. That would be my only from there. So let's get into pick scores. You know where I'm going first. Under 23 to see what goalkeepers are available. We do. That. Whoops. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. All right. Yeah, sorry, it bounced out. Whenever I clicked that, it sent me off for some reason. So we're back. Yeah, let's get the results. Hey, FBL, I know we're live, but I actually went through and showed all my projections earlier. So if you just kind of bounce back, I showed every lineup that I had on here. So Camacho, White, and Veselinovic should all start, but you can go back and see if you want to see like the actual percents on those. I think 80% on Camacho, 85 on Veselinovic, and 90% on White, I believe. All right, so let's take a look at Ronan's game week here. The great picture here, tremendous. Where do we want to start? Okay, limited. Wow, decisives everywhere. 414. There's your 40. You faded a little bit. Brazil is who you're fading there. Interesting. That's a nice lineup. I like that. A little bit of flair down under. So we're down under. Boys would love that. A little bit of Macedonia. Wow, that's great. Next up here, yeah. Beautiful. You said wrong captain, Barty. Okay. Yeah. All-Star limited. No reward, but close. 270. Good captain there, O'Shea. Is that what you said? Yeah, you wasted that. Yeah, I hate when that happens, right? Jose Martinez, shout out to him. You had Koki here. Played pretty well. Yeah, solid game week. Yeah. So you're taking home, what did it say? $40. Let's go. Love to see it. Yeah, Barty usually does play well. That is one name that I know. All right, so under 23, we have more, but we don't have a ton. So again, under 23, if you have any of these keepers, you feel like you're in good shape. As far as the other ones, I don't know of any that are capable of starting. But I will talk about Schulte. 29% have him starting. 29% of you are idiots. No offense, but he is on international duty, so there is a 0% chance he is playing there. I wish he was. With that, L5 of 34. That's really been great. You got Trubin against Georgia, Mamarashvili, Zion Suzuki, and a solid one. Verbruggen against Hungary, Karl Hein versus Azerbaijan, and Fui Diaz in Racing Ferrol. Yeah, FOMO is wild. Yeah, that is for sure. FOMO is wild. At the limited level, I used to be a big FOMO guy. Loved it. Loved every bit of it. Wouldn't have it any other way. Do we think England bounces back against Scotland after that tough one? Jude got his first goal, but you would think they would bounce back there in a really good spot. A lot of these double game weeks will be tricky just to fade some of these teams that have a double game week. See what kind of matchups they have here. So it looks like they got Sweden. It's kind of sorted by the same thing. Finland? Who was I talking about? Did it just change? Oh, it's All-Star. I don't know where the Finland was. Did it just disappear? Why am I could have sworn Scotland was there. Was England not against Scotland? Oh, here. So, yeah. I was looking at Man City thinking, I was looking at this one. So, sorry. Croatia is against Scotland. Yeah. Finland. There we go. David Ov, what's happening? These international, man, they should just get the countries here so I know. Yeah, it's going to be tough. So, let's bounce back over here. And the projections just are tough on international. They don't get it there. I did want to just kind of bounce off some thinking strategies. So hopefully we're not competing for the same players, but I've kind of broken it down to this. So yeah, I don't have a Romero, but yeah, he'll probably go red, and then they'll not play a backup again. That'd be great. Would love to see it. This is server probabilities, server_probabilities. This is a great screen because it tells you the next matchups. And I wanted to kind of consider, based on, you see City in the next 3 matches, they have the best schedule, which you absolutely hate to see. So we're actually looking out a little bit further. So you hate to plan for just one game week, but they have a little bit trickier of a game week. And I guess it's not tricky, but, for Man City, it's a little bit different. So let's take a look at their schedule. We'll just pop into a player, I guess. Rodri. Rest in peace. So if we look at their schedule and we look at... so the first one's Wolves away, Southampton home, and then Brighton away. Sorry, Bournemouth away. Then they have Brighton away and Tottenham, and then you got Liverpool in 31. So while it's not the easiest stretch, the Tottenham match falls on 29. Some of the really nice game week 29 matchups. Let's see, can we go there? Let's go to fixtures. I can't go out that far. What can we do here? 29. Can we go out that far? I think it's 29. Saturday. PL. Was it this one? Yeah, I think it was this one. Easier games for City means more rotation. Yeah, that is very true. Good way to look at it. So I was kind of looking here. We have Arsenal against Forest, which you hate to see. And you have City, Tottenham. But there's some good matchups for like players that I have. Everton against Brentford. I have team players from both of these. Fulham against Wolves, that's for Fulham. You want to target that. But, looking at the other teams, though, Arsenal's probably going to have a clean sheet, most likely, and you're going to struggle with that. So I was kind of looking at that one. which is kind of a bummer. And then if we go back, because we see Fulham and Brentford have good over the next 5 matches. So where is the good matches? In Everton. So Dwight McNeil, I've been kind of had him on my short list for a while. I need a forward. I lost an auction today for him. I had a market credit, but like at the same time, I was like, man, I can't spend, like, this is over what he usually goes for. Ran into that conundrum. I am looking at him. Bueno, however you say him, from Brentford, also on my list. And then possibly a cheeky James Madison old season card, possibly. But those are kind of like the 3 guys I've had on my short list that I need to I think they would help my team a lot. So let's find this game week. Let's go back to 27, I believe. 27, is it 27? Can we load? Is it not 27? There's not loading. All right, give it a second. I believe it's 27. We'll see where it is, but it's kind of a lot better, maybe. But it's a decent kind of run out for the guys in my gallery / that. So it's kind of like the perfect mix. And as far as those 3, they make my team a lot better. Winning that Van Dijk, it's either I sell him, which I probably just should sell him and like kind of move, but I'm getting up there. I think I'm in D2 now. So we start in D4, in D2. Yeah, Bueno is must have for sure, especially because I have Brentford cards. So he's kind of like the in-season that I would get. I've been looking at Dwight McNeil. He's around $100 for old season. That kind of works as well. Good AA forward. And then Madison, as an old season, I've been kicking around. Do I want to just, not go with McNeil, even though Everton has some good fixtures? But the budget doesn't really, have enough in there to do all. So Bueno is kind of my number 1. That McNeil auction today kind of just turned me off that, but that's kind of like personal who I'm going after and kind of behind the scenes what I'm trying to do. So I don't know. That's just kind of what I've been thinking. Let's go to the lineup builder to see not having any keepers in under 23. I just want to take a look to see in season, because I did buy a keeper. Not an unique, that's for sure. I did buy a keeper to fit my Stuttgart collection. And do we not show double games? That'll throw it off a little bit. So do we actually have to go on the server website? That's crazy. Yeah, that's another reason I like McNeil as well. Just not having to because I have a Doku and he's just basically unplayable. Even if he doesn't start anyway. But that's a card that should have sold at his peak. That's for sure. But interesting. Yeah, for that price, that probably turns me off him a little bit. So I appreciate you saying that. All right, so let's take a look here. I just want to look at classic. Can we see the in-season? Are we already in the in-season? We are. All right. I just want to see if the 2 games show up. They do. Okay. Nubel, correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't really looked at anything, but I saw that he was guaranteed 1, and I think Bauman is the other guy who's guaranteed 1. But do we know which ones? So if anyone in the chat knows, that'd be great. But I do have him as in season. Be great if it was against Bosnia and Herzegovina. I guess Netherlands, a little bit of AA, but yeah, you don't love that. Is Flecken in the squad? Not that he would start anyway. Verbruggen's got that down lock. Yeah, he's on the squad. So I have all these backups, which you hate to see, but I did pick up a middle stat that I can play old season, even though it kind of makes sense to have his, like, the price discrepancy is just crazy. So you can play Van Dijk. He has 2, right, for Netherlands. 1 is Hungary, 1 is Germany. That feels great. So yeah, you could throw him in there as well. So it allows me to play this competition at least, most likely, because I have Matoma against Australia. I have like a Ricci, Gosdog. So I have these players. I guess Matoma makes sense, but like Ricci, he doesn't score super high, but against Israel, he was another one of my tier 5 polls, which is pretty nice actually. So let's just see if, I'd like the double game week. That kind of turns you off some of these guys, but like, Ricci only has one as well. I did pull this Hagee. It looks like 10% on here. I haven't looked at anything. But Romania, international utility, you love to see that. But Matoma is probably going to get the nod there. Undav, he's probably going to start one of them at least, right? And then that allows me to play pretty much anyone, but probably Middlestat. I haven't looked at rosters or anything, so that's why I'm not going to go through this. After I get off, definitely going to build my lineups just to kind of see where we're at and probably roll out something like this. Not the worst lineup in the world, that's for sure. Have some decent matchups. Just kind of who would I start or who would I captain type of thing. But you're looking at 83 right now. Let's just say I do Van Dijk for some reason. It doesn't change, but sometimes they give you the old, hey, you could do better with this guy type of thing. No improvement because of the competition. Makes sense. But you could definitely do worse in this competition. But the double game weeks, you're going to have to score high. But being able to play in season, maybe some more utility, you can't be mad at that. Does France have 2 for Barcola? Barcola came off the bench and scored today. They only have 1 against Belgium. Same with my Doku. So that's a little bit tricky. You don't really want to fall in love with that. Yeah, Luling, is he in the squad? Did he really get called up? That form, I love him. Yeah, but that's crazy. Didn't see that. I know it's kind of short, but I went through all the game week for MLS, and I got to get up at like early tomorrow. So I'm going to probably get off. If you have any questions, I know I kind of went over literally my entire process, and there probably aren't any questions. But if you join late and you want to kind of scroll back, I went through all my lineup projections for this game week. So if you have any questions, though, feel free to reach out. Good luck this game week. I am ready for club football to be back, but international, here we go again. And hopefully you guys all have a great game week. See you next time.